Cycling has come a long way. It started off as a way to get around, and now people are using bicycles to tour the world. And racing definitely has pushed the limits of the human body as well as the bike itself. And as with every hobby, there's gonna be myths. Some of them simply are marketing terms, and others are just age-old tradition. And if you are beginning to discover this hobby, then it might be very confusing for you. So today, I just want to break down some of these myths that some of us still quietly believe in. And let's start off with really high tire pressure. So there was a time that cyclists thought that riding higher pressure means more speed, and it made a lot of sense. So the higher the tire pressure, the rounder the tire, and the less the wheel will contact the ground and you roll faster because there's less friction. And higher tire pressure also means protection from pinch flat or snake bites. And your tire felt rock hard. But hey, they are riding fast, right? Except not really. Because real roads are not smooth laboratory floors. When your tire pressure is too high, your bike's actually bouncing all over the imperfections instead of conforming to the road surface. Which means you actually lose grip and you also lose comfort. And sometimes you even lose efficiency because your entire body is actually becoming the suspension system. And that's why nowadays you see pro riders using surprisingly low tire pressure with wider tires. And honestly, most recreational cyclists are probably also overinflating their tires. So your bike is not supposed to feel like a shopping trolley with really hard wheels. Try lowering the tire pressure a little bit, and if you are really into it, try tubeless setup. Okay, number 2, rim brakes are dead. Tell that to the many rim brake riders today and you'll get an angry mob. So yes, these brakes are amazing. They perform better during wet weather. There's more tire clearance in your bike frame now. And of course, the confidence you get from descending with rim brakes is amazing. But somehow, cycling culture started acting like rim brakes are illegal. Okay, meanwhile, rim brakes are lighter, they are simpler, they are easier to maintain. And they're also cheaper. And quite honestly, completely fine for most riders, especially on mostly flat terrain like Singapore. And not to mention, the gradual feeling of braking feels better than the sudden stop that this brake gives you. I think that the problem is cycling culture sometimes treat newer as automatically better for everyone. And actually, you might just be fine on your existing bike. Okay, number 3, carbon is the best bike material. Ah yes, carbon. The material that makes cyclists scared of leaning bikes against the wall. Okay, now don't get me wrong, carbon is incredible. It's light, it can be stiff where it's needed, it's also very comfortable to ride, and it's very high performance. But somewhere along the way, cycling culture decided that carbon is top tier bicycle material, and aluminum and steel became entry level. But the truth is, bike materials are actually about trade-offs. Aluminum is affordable, tough, great value, and it weighs a little more than carbon. Steel is comfortable, easily repairable, and full of character. It weighs more than aluminum bikes. Titanium is expensive but beautiful and durable. While carbon is lightweight and high performance, you can also shape carbon into very aerodynamic shapes. However, there is a very big focus on carbon bikes during racing because they are technically cheaper to produce and replace. So I have a friend who's also saved up quite a bit for a carbon gravel bike frame, but is quite literally too afraid to ride gravel because it might chip the paint. So there's no one material that's like objectively perfect, and honestly, a relaxed cyclist on a aluminum bike, enjoying the ride is probably happier than somebody who's financially recovering from a carbon superbike purchase. Okay, number 4, every bikepacking trip must be epic. So when social media shows you bikepacking, you see Iceland, Patagonia, the Himalayas, some drone shots, emotional piano music, many of them with quotes like, I cycled 4,000 kilometers to rediscover myself. But actually, what is real life bikepacking? Sometimes it's just sweating in 34-degree heat, a lot of mosquitoes, convenience store meals, and desperately looking for our accommodation in the dark because we got lost. And quite honestly, that's okay. I think social media accidentally made people feel like every ride needs to be some kind of spiritual documentary, but some of the best trips are actually tiny. If you are a working adult, you definitely cannot afford being away for a very long time, so maybe some small trips can help you revitalize a little bit. An overnight trip nearby, random coastal route, cycling to another town with friends. Not every ride needs to change your life. And sometimes it's enough to simply, give you a good weekend. And personally, I think that mindset makes cycling healthier, less pressure and more joy. And now I want to take this time to thank our channel supporter, Windspace. I personally really like gear that genuinely improves the riding experience. So that's why I've been really interested in what Windspace is doing. They make high performance cycling components and wheel sets that are actually accessible to everyday riders, not just the elite level racers with unlimited budget. So I've been thinking about getting a set of carbon wheels for a while now because they really transform how your bike rides. So if you are thinking about upgrading your bike, wheels or components, definitely check them out using the link in my description below. It helps to support the channel at no extra cost to you. It allows me to keep making more cycling videos focused on riding, mental clarity and the simple joys of cycling. And now back to the video. Right, our next myth. Soft saddles are more comfortable. So this is the biggest betrayal in cycling because logically a softer cushion means more comfort, right? But that is a big mistake. So usually what happens on soft saddles is that your body sinks in, the pressure gets concentrated, friction will increase. And after long rides, your backside starts negotiating peace treaties. So that's why many experienced cyclists prefer firmer saddles. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because proper support matters more than softness. A good saddle supports your seat bone. A bad saddle feels like sitting on a warm bread. And this is also why saddle comfort is extremely personal. The saddle your friend swears by may feel terrible to you, which is honestly very annoying considering saddle prices. So what to consider here? Saddle fit is actually a process. It will take some time, so do take a little bit of time and expense to experiment. Okay, myth number 6. More gears is better. Cycling love numbers. 12 speed, 13 speed, 47 mega transmission. But honestly, the most important thing is whether your gearing suits your terrain and fitness. Some people are sensitive about their cadence, and more gear allows them to find a suitable one over long sustained rides. People can usually accommodate one gear higher or lower and usually make do with it. So you know what matters more than having 12 gears? Having a low enough climbing gear so you don't faint halfway up a hill. Most casual riders don't need ultra race gearing. So before I downsize my chainring, I've actually never used my highest gear. And there's nothing embarrassing about easier gears. Your knees will probably thank you in the next few years. Okay, myth number 7. Expensive cyclists have better experiences. Well, first of all, there is absolutely nothing wrong with buying expensive equipment. If you can afford it and you feel like you like some of the performance advantage of it, then sure, you should totally get it. Yes, Sushi. Okay, Sushi wants to join in the video today. But there seems to be this relation that people who can afford to buy more expensive gear tend to be a stronger rider, or in some sense might give you a better riding experience. I think we ought to be pretty careful with that because some of these marketing tends to revolve around giving you that amazing feeling of riding, when in actual fact you can get this feeling from more budget-friendly options. The bikepacking adventure is going to feel the same. You are still gonna suffer on the same climb, and the people that you ride with is gonna give you that same amazing community feeling regardless of what gear you ride in. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering why this looks slightly different, it's because I'm editing Shannon from the future, and while I was editing this piece, I feel like whatever I've written before has kind of like gone off course, so I just want to correct myself here. All on that note, I might as well end the video right here then. What are some of the cycling myths that you used to believe in? Has anything changed your mind? Lower tire pressure has definitely changed how I ride my bike, and I know that I've talked about this a lot, but I've been really late to convert my bicycle to tubeless, and am only starting to enjoy the benefits of lower tire pressure. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on some of these, and I hope to see you in the next one. Alright, bye bye.